and we welcome you back to the Quaker Arrow Show. I am your and we are your co-hosts. I am Nick Thunder Green, and I'm here with Cap Ellett. And before we start today, I do want to say, let's have a moment of silence for a serious car crash that happened, like in Fort Wayne earlier today, with Fort Wayne Homestead senior Myah Epps. Thank you. And now, and now, and now we have a kind of special thing too, because this is I mean, if you ask us at the beginning of the year, I wasn't expecting this to happen, but both of our coaches have both retired. So let's start with Zach and how and what he has to say about Coach Moore.
Well, Coach Moore has been a part of the Arrows for 36 years, since the 90s. I mean, he's been a big part in Sullivan, and Coach will be missed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And that's the same way with Coach Weaver too. Like Coach Weaver spent 14 years as a Plainfield head coach, and but before that, he was a pioneer in Western, and he won 6 sectionals with Western. He was a really successful head coach, and I can tell you, he will be making the Hall of Fame. Like, like that's not even a question. Both of our
So will
head
my head
coaches,
coach.
yeah,
So will
yeah,
Jeff Moore for sure.
yeah.
I think Jeff Moore is actually already in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, that's true. But Andy Weaver will definitely make it into the Hall of Fame. And I do have to say once again, just like I said yesterday, being a manager under Andy Weaver, that did teach me some life lessons. Like I am happy I was able to manage under him because he was such a great head coach. He is such a great person. Like
Yep,
yeah. All
that's the
right.
same under Jeff Moore too.
Yeah. And now, folks, let's talk about sectional 47 and sectional 11 on what happened. Let's start with sectional 47, Zach.
Well, rematch of the biggest rivalry in the Wabash Valley in the sectional championship, Linton Stockton and Sullivan. It was a good game. Nick Thundergreen actually popped out to that game too. And unfortunately, the Arrows fell short in sectional 47 against the Linton Stockton Miners.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, my takeaways from that, Sullivan was not playing smart basketball in the first half. They were in their own heads in the first half, and they kept on trying to force threes. Like don't like if you want to win, don't try to force threes. Like you can force threes in the first quarter, but they didn't work. And if they continue to not work, just go for layups. Try to drive in because that was the strength of Sullivan. They were able to drive in on Linton, and Linton also got very foul happy in the third quarter. Like uh, Connor Daly like even fouled out. But once again, that was a really good game. But but yeah. Now, what are your takeaways about the other games from Section 47?
Um, Honestly, South Knox and Linton was also a good game. I thought South Knox would pull it off like they did in the regular season against the Linton Miners, but unfortunately, the Miners did pull off the victory,
Yeah,
beating them for the revenge game in the sectional. Which, by the way, South Knox did only lost to Sullivan by 2 points the first game of Sullivan's season
mm-hmm.
at
Yeah,
South Knox.
yeah. All right, so now let's talk about Section 11, and this is on me. I am sad. I am sad I have to talk about it because I don't want to talk about the second game, but I have to. All right, the first game. Okay, so the first game I went to, it was Brownsburg and Avon. I went to that game. I do have to say, Brown. Okay, early game. Brownsburg went on an 11-0 run. I was thinking it was going to be Belt, and it apparently wasn't. Like Brownsburg went on an 11-0 run. Avon couldn't do anything, and then after a timeout, like Avon came. I mean, Avon came flying. But both teams did not play well. Tyrone Elmore had 20 points. Brandon Sharp for Brownsburg, I think, is underrated in speed in basketball, but he had also 20 points that game. Now, I was also talking to some guys too after that game, and I said too, if Jetta Minette had played for Avon, Avon probably would have won if he had played really good. But Minette was also hurt. I don't know why he was hurt. I mean, I know why. Like, it was his ankle. But I just don't know why, like, he didn't play. At least play part of the game. Because he played against Shortridge. And that was senior night. But, but yeah. Game two was a very, very sold out crowd. I mean, to be honest, that is the biggest crowd I have seen since graduation at Plainfield High School. That's the biggest crowd ever for a main basketball game. And in Tori Rodkey's career at Plainfield, that was his first time having a sold out crowd. And the really funny thing is, Rodkey is retiring as well after this year. Rodkey is our athletic director, but Plainfield was up 15 at halftime. I think I think three of the main problems were in that game was that late in the game. Like yes, we beat Carmel and Lawrence North late in the game too, but we just got too confident. Like Plainfield just got too confident, got in our own heads, started making mistakes, and like in Plainfield just ended up losing only by 3. And I do have to say that was the worst that Pike played, like in the sectionals. And yeah, but if Plainfield hadn't been in their own heads, Pike would not be playing this weekend in regionals. It would have been Plainfield. And then the third game, Brownsburg versus Ben Davis. What can I say except Brownsburg has magic in the postseason? They do not show up in the regular season, and when it comes to postseason, I mean, it showed last year when Brownsburg was, I think, the worst team in our sectional, and they ended up winning the sectional championship. They were definitely not the favorite. They won the sectional championship. They didn't do well last year. And then they didn't have a good season this year either. I mean, yes, they did have a winning season, but that's because they didn't play anybody. And then they went on to play Ben Davis. And Brownsburg's Magic showed up, and pretty sure they had a golden horseshoe up their butt at the end of the game. They were up 1, and then 2 free throws. And then Ben Davis tried to call a timeout. They had none left. So that was a technical foul. So 2 more free throws, and Brownsburg won. That's what happened at the end of that game. And then Pike Brownsburg, I would have gone, but of course I went to surprise Cap down there. And what I could have seen too, once again, the Cinderella run for Brownsburg came and went. It went good in the first half. They were only down by 1 versus Pike. Like Pike, Pike really looked beatable. And if Pike plays like that or plays like what they did against Plainfield in regionals, Pike will lose in regionals. And speaking of regionals, let's talk about regionals. All right, so what are your games of the week for regionals, Zach?
Hold on, let me pull up the games.
All right, all right, yeah. Well, 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 as you do that, well, I'll tell you mine. So I have just a few at the top of my head. Pike versus Mount Vernon, Decatur Central versus Lawrence Central, not Lawrence North, Lawrence Central. I'm going to say it again. I don't know how Lawrence North lost to Lawrence Central because Lawrence Central did not have a good season. And then Terrell North versus Columbus North. And then we have Linton Stockton versus Paoli. And then we have some other good games. So what are your games of the week? If you have the games
All
of the week.
right. I pulled up the schedule, and here are my games. Number one, South Decatur and Hauser. Hauser is 24-2, South Decatur 18-6. I'm gonna take hold on a second. Let me think about this game. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Hauser on that game because it's Hauser.
Mm-hmm.
And we got another really good game. The Monroe Central and Southwood for another good game. Both teams in the 20-digit wins. Monroe Central 20-4, Southwood 22-3. I'm probably gonna take Southwood to win this game. And this game I'm actually going to tomorrow at the Hatchet House, Bar Reeve and West Washington. Now, this might not be the greatest game that I mentioned, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna take the Bar Reeve Vikings because they are
Mm-hmm.
24-1
Mm-hmm.
against a 18-6 West Washington team. Evansville Boss and Princeton, who are both evenly matched, 17-8 and 19-6. I'm probably gonna take Princeton because it's Princeton. And then like Nick
And
said,
now before you continue about Princeton, I do want to give a shout out to Princeton though because they have a brand new transfer this year. Like they have Quentin Volts, and he went to Decatur Central last year. So I'm just a huge shout out to Princeton. After getting Volts, they went on to make regionals. Now I do have to say too. Now Isaac said, I mean, we had him on last week. He did not agree with me here, but I'm gonna say this. I am saying that Decatur Central would have been scary with Quentin Volts this year. Would have been a bit scarier than they are now, but they're still not a good team. All right, back to you.
all right, like you said earlier, Paoli and Linton Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
If we would have beat Linton, we would have played the only undefeated team in Indiana at the time. Um, if Fishers probably would have been alive too, but Paoli, the only undefeated team in Indiana so far, 26-0 against a really good Linton Stockton team. Paul Oliver, Connor Daly, they'll be
Mm-hmm.
in it at Seymour. I'm going to take the
Definitely.
Paoli Rams though. Northeast Boy in Bloomfield, also at the Hatchet House after Bar Reeve.
Yeah.
Blake Neal, and a huge shout out to Hunter Abner because of his amazing interview he had with WTHI, making him famous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Bloomfield Cardinals there, and like you said, Mount Vernon and Pike
Definitely.
for your reasons, and Northview and Roncalli will be a good game.
Yes.
Oh, you forgot to mention this team earlier, Nick. Silver Creek and Batesville.
Oh yeah, that's right. Silver Creek. Well, I don't really need to mention Silver Creek because we all know that the only competition they have in the postseason will be Cathedral. If they beat Cathedral, then Silver Creek will be running away with 3A. Like they're like that's not even a question. Silver Creek is really good.
All right, I'll mention two more games. This second game, I'm going to Park Heritage in Centerville. This game will be played at the Wood in Martinsville, Indiana. 23-4 Park Heritage takes on 24-2 Centerville,
Really
which
uh, really good game, and I know a lot of people have Centerville by Park Heritage winning this one.
I'll be at that game, so it'll be a fun one. Then my
Mm-hmm.
last game I'm going to talk about is Columbus North and Terre Haute North at the McAnally Center in
Yeah.
Greencastle.
Yes.
Brady Klopfenstein is a good player. Gavin Wolf. I know a lot of guys on this Terre Haute North team. And I think they can pull off the win against the Columbus North Bulldogs.
They will. Yeah, they will. Now, back to me. Let's go over my. I mean, I already said the games of the week, so let's predict my games of the week. I mean, I'm gonna do them, like as you already technically did them. So my first game of the week is Pike and Mount Vernon. They both already played each other earlier in the season, which was actually not too long ago. Like it was a 84-81 win for Pike. The only difference in that game than this game, both teams had injuries. I think both teams are now healthy. So it's going to be even better. And that game went into overtime too. And then and to win this, I am Mount Vernon. I am Mount Vernon. Why? It is tough to beat a team twice. It is really hard to be a team twice in one season. Also, it's hard to be a team three times in one season.
like
Uh,
Sullivan did against Westvigo.
yeah, yeah, I know. And then my next game of the week is Linton and Paoli. I have Paoli because of your reasons. Paoli is undefeated. My third game of the week, Decatur Central and Lawrence Central. I have it once again depends on which teams show up. If it's a decent or good Decatur Central and a mid Lawrence Central team, I have Decatur Central pulling that upset. But in my mind, and I am going to say this again, I have uh, now once again I have Lawrence Central winning. They will make semi-state, and then in the next one, it's going to be Terre Haute North and Columbus North. Last year, nobody's talking about this, but last year Terre Haute North played Whiteland. Whiteland, a mid-state team, and that was a really good game. Whiteland only lost by a couple in overtime at the Hatchet House, and Terre Haute North won that. They made it to semi-state. I'm gonna say again, Terre Haute North's making semi-state, and I think we both can agree, Terre Haute North, if they get back to playing how they have been, playing really good, like how they played against
Potentially,
Plainfield, like
potentially going to state.
yeah, Terre Haute North is the biggest underdog in 4A. I'm not counting. I mean, New Albany could be there as well, but they're already kind of favored too. Because let's just say Mount Vernon wins and they have to play New Albany. New Albany could beat Mount Vernon. Like New Albany can beat anybody, uh, like in semi-state. Now, if Pike makes it to semi-state, Pike's making it to state. Like unless they play like crap and they have to play Terre Haute North or Lawrence Central or New Albany. But yeah, and then and then it, and then now you will probably agree with me here too, but up north for 4A North, I do have to say like two of the biggest teams that we need to watch for, Carmel and Crown Point. Carmel because
Yes.
they beat Fishers, Crown Point because they are a really good team. They did beat Silver Creek. Silver Creek was up on was actually up on was actually up like on uh yeah. See, Silver Creek was actually up like on Crown Point. Now I do have to say though, Carmel Crown Point. People are saying Carmel's going to win that game. I have Crown Point winning that because Crown Point's a really good team. But yeah, and I have to say, I do have to say that uh, that Carmel will easily make it to semi-state because they're playing Fort Wayne Snyder. Like that's not gonna be competition at all. Like that,
Yeah.
uh, like I did. Now I don't know if you remember this, but during our live stream when we did our live stream, like I said that the winner of the Fisher sectional would have a easy path to semi-state because they would have to play that Fort Wayne sectional. So now it's Carmel Fort Wayne Snyder. And once again, I do have to say that there's still a lot of buzz about Carmel beating Fishers, and something about Fishers, like Fishers, they've gone 83-3 with the past three seasons,
Hmm.
and two of those losses were Carmel. but one in the regular season. And that one in the regular season was like 3 years ago when they won state. They are still a good team. I do have to say, if they had lost in the regular season last year or this year, they would be winning state. Because I am saying this, you will probably agree with me too. Losing in crunch time at the end of the season before sectionals helps the team out. That's what happened
Yes.
with Plainfield and Terre Haute North. Not really. No, that really didn't help. I can tell you that Plainfield would have lost to Greenwood or Warren Central. Pike probably would have lost to us because we would have gotten up on gotten our heads out our butts and played really good. But and once again, I'm gonna say this too: Plainfield had no comp at the end of the season. Like playing this likes of Southport, Fishers, Fishers. No, if we played Fishers, that would have been bad. But no, Southport, Franklin, and Danville. Danville is the worst team we played on our schedule because we went up like 26-0. All right, folks, that will do it for today's QUAKER Arrow Show. We will be back on Sunday evening or Sunday night, and we will be talking about the semi-state pairings. That will be a shorter episode. And I do have to say once again, too, like I said last night on the Thundercast, if I do end up working with Mooresville, the color will be changing for me. But the show name will not change. It will still be called the QUAKER Arrow Show. Maybe I might also change it to the Pioneer Arrow Show. Nah, that doesn't sound right. All right, folks, that will do it. We will see you back Sunday evening and for the semi-state pairing show.